Welcome, YouTube subscribers. I have a rare treat for you today. This episode of Music Appreciation is going to have 3 samples on it. 2 by Aaron Copland, his Fanfare for Common Man, and the Hoedown from his ballet, Rodeo. He's a 20th century composer, and he died in 1990. And the third selection is a favorite of mine that really is a piece of music that had a defining moment in my life. Is written by Aram Khachaurian, which is a Russian composer, also 20th century. And the title of that piece is a Sabre dance. When I was 8 years old, I saw Oscar Levant on the Ed Sullivan Show play the piece with Skitch Henderson conducting the Ed Sullivan's CBS orchestra, and I was mesmerized, and I turned to my parents and said, I want to learn how to play that piece. And so I started my piano lessons a year later. Very soon after that, our choir organist had a bunch of sheet music that they gave us, and lo and behold, one of the pieces was the Sabre dance, and so I started to learn it. When I got to my senior year in high school, my brother younger brother also played piano, and he had learned the piece, and we had devised a way to play the piece with 4 hands standing up at one piano. And we played that piece for the talent show that year in our high school, and of course we won. And then 2 years later, I had a misfortune of losing my father in open heart surgery, and I was also in a very bad car accident. That was a rough year in 1968. But during recovery in Toledo, Ohio Hospital, I met a nurse who kept talking about a fabulous place in Sandusky, Ohio called Cedar Point, which is an amusement park. I didn't think anything of it until I got back to school at the University of Michigan, where I was walking down the Hall of Music and past the bulletin board where there was a huge poster with a big Ferris wheel on it saying Cedar Point. And underneath at the bottom corner of the poster was a picture of Charles R. Meeker Jr. from Dallas, Texas, who was the executive producer and the writer of the shows, live show department at Cedar Point. And they were holding auditions that day, and so I decided to go there and sing for my audition. When I got there were a bunch of singers already performing, and as my name was called, I changed my mind, and guess what? I played the Sabre dance. And Mr. Meeker called me over after the audition and said, very good, we'd like to use you in our one of our shows at Cedar Point. And from that point on, for 5 years, I was musical director at Cedar Point. And then 5 years later, 5 more years of working for Mr. Meeker's Charlie's Kids. He invited a bunch of us from Cedar Point to come down to Dallas, Fort Worth, and we performed in Fort Worth at the old Sheraton Hotel. And from there, I went to Dinner Theaters Incorporated, and just my whole life turned around. And in 1983, the choreographer for the Cedar Point shows asked me if I wanted to be a choral director for the Miss Universe, Miss USA pageants. And for the next 14 years, I was the choral director and assistant musical director for live telecasts of the Miss Universe, Miss USA, and Miss Teenage America pageants. Miss Teen USA pageant, excuse me, not Teen America. And anyhow, my whole life, that piece just followed me wherever I went. Later on in life, after I retired from the pageants, I joined a group called the Vocal Majority, and there I sang with them here in Dallas and helped them win their 11th gold medal in Indianapolis at the Barbershop Quartet Convention. And they in turn put on a fabulous show later on that year and asked me to play the piano for them, and guess what? They wanted me to be Liberace and play the Sabre dance. So the Sabre dance is very close to my heart. I hope you enjoy it. You'll be listening to the Fanfare first by Aaron Copland, Fanfare for Common Man, and then the Hoedown, which is from his ballet, called Rodeo, and then of course the Sabre dance, which is also from a ballet that Aram Khachaurian wrote, the Gain, G-A-Y-A-N-E. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Hope you enjoy it. If you liked this episode, click like, leave comments, and subscribe if you haven't yet, so that you may receive email notifications of new episodes in this area as well as other areas in our world of music. Also, try out our other worlds, the world of art, the world of books, the world of faith, the world of family, the world of food, and the world of games. Go and be inspired.